All right, it is the third week in August, and here is our team training for the week. I know everybody has been talking about it is a rough month, and everyone keeps saying that. I'm actually kind of tired of everyone saying that because in entrepreneurship, you have ups and downs. It's just a part of it. But because that is the talk of the town lately, we have decided to make our Team Pay It Forward weekly training this week all about mindset. And so I'm going to be talking to you about mindset, some of the things that you can do to change your mindset and to make sure that you're focusing on the right things, because a lot of times we limit ourselves. We put this glass ceiling over ourselves and we only let ourselves go so far because of these things that we happen to think. Maybe we have fears, maybe we have things that we've grown up knowing that I'm not good enough or whatever it happens to be, or we have just preconceived notions about certain things. And so I really like having other people on here with me and not just me talking to you guys myself. So I wanted to bring Nicole on tonight just because of the fact simply that she has been one of my longest personally sponsored coaches. She was from me from the beginning, and she kind of dabbled in coaching here and there. Like she started out and had, got a couple of coaches, whatever else, but then kind of just put it on the back burner. She had a lot of things with her opinions on coaching and her mindset, whereas the reasons why she didn't pursue it and she didn't actually actively coach. So now something has clicked and she is on fire as of the past few months. Her team is growing rapidly. She is exploding and, she's living up to the potential that I always knew she could. I always knew she had that potential in her, and I kept telling her that. So I'm really excited that she's finally kind of like, it's like, so it's really kind of exciting to see the potential that she has and how she's growing and all of the amazing things that she's been doing. So I thought it was very fitting to have her on tonight with us and interview her. So we're just going to get right into it. And the first thing, I'm just going to have Nicole just share a little bit about her story and how she got into coaching and kind of like that whole thing that we just talked about.
All right. Am I on?
You're good.
So I got into coaching through Crystal. She had approached me, and I was a pretty big skeptic in the beginning. It kind of took me a while, but I had known Crystal and I had trained with her before, and I was just getting into personal training myself, and I looked up to Crystal a lot. So I thought about it. I kept it in the back of my head. And then, she had explained to me how there really was no risk just from buying a challenge pack. And I had done some of the Beachbody programs, really liked them, never tried Shakeology. But I figured I might as well try it. And again, there was no risk. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then, as Crystal said, I was a little slow to start. And I kind of put it on the back burner. Every now and then would jump in a little bit. But yeah, it's been on the back burner for a little while. So that's my story.
Would you mind sharing, and obviously just do what you're comfortable with, but I would love for you to share about so you're a personal trainer. That's how we know each other. We used to train together, and Nicole was a PE teacher, and then she had her first son. She now has two, and she decided to leave teaching because she wanted to be in control of her schedule more and at home with her kids more. And so she started personal training, and that's why, I knew her, and I was like, this is going to be perfect. She's like right in there. But like, can you explain how just the mindset that you had of how you didn't want to be known as a Beachbody coach? You wanted people to know you for your personal training, and you wanted to be recognized for that. And so, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was actually definitely probably the biggest wall that was put in front of me, or what held me back, I think. I don't know if it was the being a skeptic, but I I didn't want to be known as a Beachbody coach, and I really wanted to be known for who I am and my personal training and my workouts and all the stuff that I was doing. And I just had a huge fear of being just a Beachbody coach. And I think that I was also scared of some people looking down on that or almost being like a sellout a little bit. And so that, I mean, that held me back, even though I believed in the product and believed in the workouts. I loved Shakeology. But it was just stuck in me. And I was kind of scared to put it out there, which I think is what really held me back the most, because I was afraid to talk about it. I didn't even want anyone to see my Shakeology cup when I was drinking it. So yeah.
So you believed in it, because that's what I was going to ask you next, but you basically said it, like what your fears were coming into this business, because you believed in it, you liked what it was doing for you, but you didn't want to have that association because of fear of, and there are a lot of people who judge what we do. And that's a big thing that we have to kind of fight against, because a lot of people think like, oh, it's that MLM thing, it's that pyramid scheme, it's that whatever. And so you do have to kind of fight that. And so I can definitely understand not like the whole fear of association, because then you want it to be taken seriously. And there is a huge potential for people to not take you seriously. So a lot of times too, like I think I was a personal trainer as well when I started this, but I had been a personal trainer for a really long time. And so I think like I felt confident enough to get over that because I had already developed that trust, whereas you were newer in the industry. You knew your stuff. Obviously, you've been in that field for a while, but you were doing teaching versus training. So you were newer to the training industry. So you were still just establishing yourself and everything too. And there's a lot of people doing different multi-level marketing, supplement type companies all in your area. And there's a lot of people who talk crap about it, right? So I can understand that. So now that you are where you are, looking back, how do you think that those fears held you back? Like, what are the things that they stopped you from doing, or how did that hold you back as compared to now with what you're doing?
Well, it held me back a ton, just that I never wanted to talk about it. And even the few times that, over the past, whatever it's been, 2 years, maybe, I think, close to it. The few times that I would put it out there, if I ran a challenge group, I always got people. I mean, they were always there. And I mean, I did hear no's, but like when I put it out there, people were there. But so I think me not putting it out there was the thing that was holding me back. And like I said, I didn't even want to carry around my Shakeology cup because I was not embarrassed, but I didn't want to be known for that or have people, judging me or whatever it was. So it was just the fear of putting it out there, for sure.
So then what was your aha moment when things changed for you? Like, I know what I think it was, but I'm curious to hear what you think it was and what specifically kind of drove that in,
I think it was our little dinner that we had. And so, I think.
Can I say something really quick? So Nicole and I, because we're from like the towns next door to each other, whatever. We're from the same area. And so when I go back to visit my family in the summertime, 2 years ago, I should say 2 summers ago, a year and a half or so ago, I met with Nicole. She wanted to meet with me. We talked. We had a great talk. It was amazing. And I thought like, oh, something's going to happen from that. But then she still sat on the opportunity for a whole nother year. And then this year I got together with a handful of coaches, whoever wanted to come down to meet up. There was like 5 of us, I think. And we had dinner in Providence. And I think because it was with other people as well, and she heard other stories, not just me, because obviously, clearly, whatever I was saying was like, yeah. But I think it's other people's stories. So I'm curious to hear like what part of that really drove it in for you.
Well, it's always been in the back of my head, and I've always seen the potential of it. And I think even watching you grow over the past 2 years, like I've wanted it, but haven't maybe known how to push for it, I guess, or overcome my fears. And I think when we all got together and just hearing other people's stories and actually, I mean, rather you see the people on Facebook that are making six figures and all this crazy stuff, but I don't personally know them, and they seem like the few and far between. And just sitting down, I think, with people that had these like big crazy goals and they were actually pushing for them, and it just made it seem more real. And I think I do have a little bit of I like that I have the personal training background, and I feel like that's an edge that I can work with and utilize that I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of, I don't know, it got me thinking. And I just figured that I might as well give it a shot and see what happens and I mean, I was never going to stop my Shakeology, so I wasn't going to stop coaching, but I might as well really try and see what I can do. And if nothing happens, then nothing happens. But let me really put it out there and give it a go. And if it works, great. And so far, from me putting it out there and overcoming fears and talking about it, it's doing well. Now I just need to keep it going. But I really think seeing and talking with other people is a huge help.
Mm. So that brings up a great point of why live events are so important. Like, obviously you haven't been to like, you know, a summit or whatever yet, but like even Super Saturdays, like those kinds of things, like actually seeing other people that are doing this, because it does feel to a certain degree, we have this community, we have this team, we have this family, and we're interacting on a daily basis, but it is more real when you're there with the person. You feel the energy in the room. You see the passion, because you can't read passion on a computer screen as much, you know? So to really get to live events or get to team events or get to anything that you can where you're associating yourself with these people is incredibly inspiring and is very important, I think. So the key things that have helped you overcome a limiting belief? Because I think, I mean, we're all going through a process. Like, I still deal with things where I'm having to overcome certain limiting beliefs. It's a process. It's just the same thing that we tell people, it's progress, not perfection. Will we ever have completely overcome it? Who knows? Probably not. But I think now, because you're moving into, you know, so now you've overcome that fear, and then you're dealing with now and working with the fear of like, can I keep this going? Can I lead a team? Can I do this? And there's always those things that we're dealing with on a regular basis, and that's very normal. But the difference is if you let it paralyze you versus if you work through it and you take action, right? So what are some of the key things that have helped you to overcome those things, that have helped you to move forward and actually start taking action?
Even just getting on our little Zoom chats, I think I avoided those before too, because I don't really like talking on the computer. This right here is one of them. And I mean, I think just telling myself that I have to just try. And I think when I would try little things and seeing successes from those little things, just like setting small goals and, you know, achieving those makes you keep kind of wanting to go for more. So I think that has helped me, just, you know, whether it's every day, do a little thing, finally bring my Shakeology cup to fit camp or something. And
small,
yeah,
you just look at the big.
Yep. And trying to post more. I still have that fear a little bit, but I've gotten better about that. And I just try and hit the post button. I write it and then I just need to hit it. But yeah, I think it's just taking small steps.
Mm-hmm. That's great, because I know even you saying about the posting and stuff too, I have a number of coaches who analyze and overanalyze their posts, and they say, oh, should I say this way, or should I post that way? And I'm like, just do it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. And you learn. If you make a mistake, then you learn from it. You can always go back and erase it if you want to, but let it get out there, sit on it, like you put it out there. Just do it, Taking action is a huge part. Like, you can learn so much, you can, talk so much, you can read so much, all this different stuff, but action is the key to everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my last question for you, what is your why, and how is it powering you to move forward?
Well, obviously everyone's why, helping people, but I mean, I think personally more is really my family. I mean, I always have a passion of, fitness and health and all that is just, it's in me, and I want to help other people with that. But ultimately, I also don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And I want to go on family vacations. And, I want to sit by a pool with my computer and work. But I don't know. And I want my kids to see, how the healthy life that I live. And I mean, I want them to see that I work, but I want to contribute more to my family, I think, as opposed to just my husband. And he would like that too.
Yeah, because the why is really, like, of course we all want to help people. Like, that's why we're
Right.
here. We're here. We wouldn't be paying it forward, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But like, the why is that deep down thing that's going to drive you, so that, when you really don't feel like working and you'd rather watch your favorite TV show instead, why you choose to continue to work and to get that daily activity in, the thing that really drives you. I mean, I know you have a huge goal too, if you don't mind me sharing.
Yeah, I don't care.
But yeah, your huge goal of, like, you guys are building a house, and like a big house, to include a place for your parents to live as well, and like this whole thing and stuff, and you have the property and all of that good stuff. So that's like right there on your horizon, and that's like a big stinking goal, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's scary.
Yeah, but you know what though?
Firemen don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, our husband's a fireman. The biggest thing though, I think too though, is that if your goals don't scare you a little bit, if they're just like reasonable, like, sure, it's great to have reasonable goals and just stuff that you can obtain, things that you can hit for sure. Like, yes, I will hit Success Club 10 every single month. I know I can do that. But to have, like, we call them BHAG goals, bag goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, like those ones that are just kind of scary to say out loud, but, like, is this really possible? I don't know. It's a big dream, but that's good, because that lights your fire when you have those kinds of goals, right? Mm-hmm. Most of us don't dream anymore. We don't dream because we're stuck in reality. Let's be real. Everyone says, oh, this is reality. I don't know what you're smoking or whatever, but like, this is the way life is. Just accept it. And we all kind of tend in our society to accept a form of mediocrity. And, as kids, we're told we can be anything we want. We can do anything we want. And kids say, like, I want to go to the moon. Okay, you can do that. I want to play basketball when I grow up. Okay, you can do that. I want to do whatever. I'm going to be the president. Oh, awesome. That's great, honey. And we encourage those things. But then there's like some turning point where we say, oh, that's not realistic. Don't you think you should go into school and get your 4-year degree in business? That's more realistic for you. Or, what are you going to do with that, whatever? Or and a lot of people with this kind of job, this entrepreneurial effort, like, a lot of people do not believe in it, even when you're making significant income. I know, fortunately, I have not had too many naysayers, but I know coaches that have. I know Christy has had people who say, like, don't you think you should get a real job, even though she's making a ridiculous amount of money? Like, a real job, like, what does that mean? So I think it's our society that stops us from doing that. So coming into this, like, in Beachbody and in coaching, you are encouraged to dream and to dream big. And I think your goals should be scary. If they don't scare you, then they're not big enough.
I think hearing other people's goals when we were at that dinner was another really big thing. Because I was one that didn't, not that I didn't set big goals. I mean, I could daydream a whole lot.
But think that you could actually accomplish them.
Right. And I think to hear other people that were really like actually setting crazy goals, as real goals, was like, it was, I mean, I guess that was kind of part of my aha moment. Like, well, you know, if they're doing that, then why am I not doing that? You know? So I think that was a big thing. And one being my coach that I got, who is doing amazing. And I mean, hearing her goals, I'm like, come on, like I can do that. So, yeah. So goals is a big thing.
Yeah.
So my goals have gotten bigger. So
as they should, as you achieve them and you start to realize what's possible. When I first started in this business, I had like little whatever goals, and then I started you start realizing what's possible. You start accomplishing more. You're like, wow, I can do this. Well, what about if I could do that? You know, and yeah, it's definitely awesome. So we need to wrap this up, but I just wanted to close out with, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of homework. So for your homework, I would love for you guys to post below what your big, hairy, audacious goals are. Share them, put them out there. And you know what too, like honestly, when you don't hit your goals, that's okay. You know, that whole shoot for the moon and land among the stars kind of thing, it's still not too shabby, right? I've had certain goals that I haven't hit, but I'm still moving forward and I'm still proud of everything I've accomplished and I'm still reaching for those goals. So let's share our goals below this post. And then one thing I want to leave with you is to get in the right mindset for success. You need to set goals and then take action, right? So if your goal is to get to diamond, you're going to be focused on getting coaches. You're going to put the discount coach option out to everybody that you talk to before setting them up for a challenge group. You're going to be reaching out to more people. You're going to be going off the cuff and thinking of who would be this business would be good for, and you're going to start those conversations intentionally with those people, and that's going to be your drive. If you need to get, if you need an emerald to advance in your business, then you're going to be setting up calls with your personally sponsored coaches and find out their why and how you can help them move forward and what they need from you and how, you know, you can help them get to that. So think about when you're taking action, every time that you are pushing towards those goals, you have to have a little bit of sacrifice. When you make a push for something, you need to get uncomfortable and you need to sacrifice a little bit. So maybe you sacrifice a little bit of your sleep time. Maybe you sacrifice a little bit of your TV time, or, you know, whatever that looks like for you. But when you want to go big and when you want to push and you want to set those goals and take action, you have to get uncomfortable to a certain degree and you have to push. So making sure that you are doing this with passion, intensity, and purpose. And everything in your action plan should be related to your big push goal. So there's going to be this one goal that kind of covers all of your other big, hairy, audacious goals. And you need to focus on what can I do to take action to accomplish and achieve that goal. So I want you guys to write out your goals, share them with the rest of us on the team, and then we can start talking about how we're going to make them happen. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. I know that we're going to end this month on fire. It's going to be amazing. And I just really thank you, Nicole, for sharing with us tonight.
Thanks.